We've got a couple email questions that have come in. We're going to go right to them here. The first one here is from Gary. Not our Gary. It's another Gary, it looks like. It says, hey guys, I was at a party and drank like 4 shots of vodka. And at about 1:30 a.m., I got dropped off at my car, but I decided to take a nap to sober up before driving. After about 20 minutes, a cop pulled up. My alcohol level was 0.10, so again, we know that there's at least a breathalyzer test. Took me in for public drunkenness and said he could have charged me with drunk driving. Is that true? Can I tell the judge my intentions were good and that I had a good reason to be parked there? I need some advice. Gary. Well, Gary, the first thing is I'm glad you weren't charged.
Right,
but let's talk about control and intent because what Gary's talking about here, very serious.
Well, first of all, Gary, get an attorney because you don't need one because you don't need to be telling the judge anything. But Larry's right on track what he's talking about. The issue is physical control. Were you in physical control of the vehicle? Did you have the ability to regain control and custody and drive off in that car? And yes, you did. And yes, that should have been and would always normally be a DUI.
Yeah.
And in that case, what I tell clients is that, he's trying to do the right thing. I understand what Gary's doing. He knew he had too much to drink and he got in the car, so I'm just going to sleep this off and go home tomorrow, whatever. But in Alabama and Florida, that is a legitimate DUI because you have the ability and the custody and control, physical control of that vehicle, and you can leave at any time. And people do. They'll wake up and say, well, yeah, I'm fine now, and they take off. They have a wreck and they hurt somebody. What I tell people is put your keys outside the car. We used to call it the wingspan rule. And we've had cases in Alabama where people put their keys out on the front tire, got back in, locked the car, went to sleep, and the courts have ruled that's showing intent that you don't want to drive that vehicle. So that could be an issue.
Yep. And so with that, one of the issues are, down here in Florida, if it's a cold night,
right.
People want to have the heater running, so the keys got to, the ignition's got to be on. That indicates a control and intent to operate the vehicle.
Absolutely.
Or it can get too hot and they want to have the air conditioner on. And if you do that, again, the same thing. Some of the newer cars, you can still have the vehicle running, or in a standby mode or something like that, and have the running. But you need to have the key outside the vehicle. That's really going to help you. The public intoxication, again, I
think that could be argued either way because he's technically not in the public. He's in the vehicle. He's not outside, but you could argue that it is public intox. But public intox is not a moving violation. It's usually a $50 fine. It's not a big issue. But this cop did you a favor here because he didn't charge a DUI.
But for some people, a public intoxication could mean a later issue with a job.
Right.
And if you've got a concern about that, then that's what I'm saying. You really do need a lawyer because a lawyer can help you with, what is it, pretrial diversion or pretrial intervention?
We have pretrial diversion, which is a program that makes everything go away. There's non-conviction, and also both those charges can be expunged.
Okay.
And in Florida, they cannot. But in Alabama, they can. The DUI, correct.
Yeah.
But in
Florida, been
Florida,
charged with a DUI.
That's correct. Yeah.
And that's one of the few charges that cannot be expunged in the state of Florida, which is a DUI.
But the public intox could be.
The public intox can be. Yes, sir. All right.